When the raft was completed, it was towed to a nearby yacht club, where the authorities and the general public had an opportunity to inspect it before our departure. Large crowds turned up, including ambassadors and ministers representing 9 different countries. We were treated to numerous dire forebodings. The country's leading shipping exporter maintained that the raft would sink before we were halfway across. The port authorities insisted on a written declaration before we set off, absolving them from all responsibility, while a naval attaché somewhat rashly bet us all the whiskey the entire crew would ever be able to consume that we'd never make it to the Pacific Islands. People were keen to secure our autographs, no doubt convinced that this was their last chance of doing so. After expressing our gratitude to the Peruvian liaison officer for his assistance, the raft was solemnly christened Kon-Tiki with the milk from a coconut in order to conform to past tradition. The expedition secretary, Gerd Wold, was given a bouquet of sunflowers as a reminder that Kon-Tiki was the name of the sun god in the ancient Inca legends. According to Peruvian tradition, a nation with a white king was said to have ruled the land before the Incas took over. His head is hewn in prehistoric stone statues high up in the Andes. One of these provided a model for the head on our sail. The last we hear of Kon-Tiki in these ancient legends is that he was banished from Peru and disappeared with his people across the Pacific. In the Polynesian islands too, people speak of the great Tiki, who brought their ancestors to the islands. We were now going to follow in his footsteps. On April the 28th, 1947, the Pelicans, for the first time for hundreds of years, were startled at the sight of a balsa raft heading for the open sea. A naval tug towed us out of the bay to ensure that we had not been in the way of coastal traffic. We bade farewell to the tug and rowed across to the raft in a small rubber dinghy, which we were later to use when filming the Kon-Tiki out at sea. After waving goodbye to the tug, we were on our own, afloat on our 9 balsa woods.